joining us on our video here. I am so super excited to be speaking with one of my best friends in the fintech industry. He is a man that requires very little introduction because he is that amazing. He now is the CEO of Relay Financial. All hands together for Mr. Joseph West. How's it going?
Good, Jenny. Great to see you. I feel entirely embarrassed by that introduction, so thank you. That feels really good. For those who don't know me, and I hope that's the majority of you, like I previously kind of was at Wave and then HubDoc, and I've kind of been around the accounting and bookkeeping community for quite some time, and just love working with advisors, and I've learned a lot in that time, and I continue to learn more, so it's good.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit more. So how can Relay Financial, I mean, obviously I laid it on there pretty thick from my own personal experience, but let's get to know Relay a bit more. You're active now in the US, you have other ambitions, but let's, can we pop the hood? Like, can we actually get a little taste of what Relay does for business owners and clients like I have? Because you guys truly did blow my mind.
Yeah, sure. So like Relay, like we can jump into product.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so I mean, Relay is like banking designed for growing businesses. I think that's the first thing to know. We make collaboration really easy with like a user permission model, so you can get read-only access really easily. You can manage all your bills from your bank account. Think like banking plus bill.com or banking plus Pluto. So it's pretty sweet. And you can manage all your business expenses using Relay cards. And we do this in conjunction with a bank in the US called Evolve Bank and Trust. They've been around since like 1925. They have $500 million in assets. It's through them that all of our accounts are FDIC insured up to 250K. It's really cool. And the reason why advisors like yourself love Relay is basically three things. One, we give you a partner portal, just like you would have in Xero HQ or QBOA. Two, we actually give you a direct bank feed into the accounting system. So we have like a best-in-class integration where it's like super reliable. Data comes through like in a really nice way. So you get like the payee and the payee field, like revolutionary stuff, I know. And then three is we actually enrich the data that's coming through. So when a check is deposited on Relay, you actually get the payer's name, the amount, the date, the memo.
Wait a minute, I didn't know that. Really? Learning something new. Sorry.
So like I'll show you an example of kind of how it looks and how it works. But this is the partner portal. So we are collectively Sean McGuire here of Xero Bookkeeping. We have our list of clients available here. We can manage staff access to client accounts. So I have Gerald, and I can actually provision access to a client's account, right? So like to compare your experience of that 8-hour wait time to this, where you can ramp up access or ramp down access at the click of a button. It's night and day. And the nice thing is, if you're actually touching client money, there's an audit trail attached. So anytime someone even just does a transfer between two Relay checking accounts for the same business, you'll actually see that it was Gerald that initiated that transfer. And so the goal of all of this is to make financial visibility really, really easy. Cool. And so, Jenny, as you did, you can invite a client. You just pop in their email address. Lots of folks actually use like an email alias to sign up on behalf of their client and get the account going. So they'll do.
Tidbit. That's a good tidbit. Yeah.
Yeah. Because oftentimes you have a lot of that documentation ready to go. And it's, the client might just need to share their driver's license or something like that that we might be missing. And so it makes it really easy to kind of onboard the client and take the work out of their hands. And, the quote we hear is like, I look like a superstar because I set this up. Cool. So we talked a lot about kind of the access piece in terms of solving those pain points. And then I think the other piece that we experienced a lot at HubDoc was like the quality of information, right? Like people wanted check images, they wanted e-transfer slips, they wanted this information. And so, since Relay is entirely focused on the US today, we are hoping to go live in Canada soon. But, we're kind of just, praying at this point. Coming back to the quality challenge, When a check is deposited inside of Relay, this is what it looks like. So you actually get the payer's name, the
Oh,
amount, the
wow.
date, who deposited it, any notes associated with it, as well as an image of the check. We pass all of this information minus the image into your accounting system.
Nice. Isn't that holistic? Like there's no more like, oh, what does this deposit relate to? Can you go look at your deposit book? You can actually put in a note that it was invoice 421. That's mind-boggling. Wow. Absolutely incredible. And I love how you're able to pull the image as well. That makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Good job.
And the other cool thing is we get category data on each card transaction. So if we basically get a 4 or 5 digit code from Mastercard, we push that into our own categorization engine and then spit out Facebook is advertising services. And we actually pass this information across into the bank feed. So you'll actually see this in Xero, where you'll see not only which card was used and any information related to the card, you'll see the category, you'll see the name of the vendor, obviously the amount, the date, and it'll actually be all broken out in a really cool way. And what we'd say about the category information is that in 80% of cases, it kind of doesn't matter, right? Like Facebook, advertising, Uber, travel, right? But in the 20% of cases where it's a gas station in the Midwest that you have no idea what it is, you got to do the Google search, you got to ping the client, you got to do all that stuff.
That's
Super helpful.
huge for us as data processors. Like when obviously we're big fans of HubDoc, right? Like we are, we use, Mr. Google to go and look at data to find out, what is the address? Does that make sense that that small little piece of information that came through the bank feed, is it that vendor, and trying to retrace it back? So that actually is quite an involved process for accounting professionals that are processing data. I love that you're doing that.
Yeah. Like that just comes back to what our background is, right? Like what we know and who we're trying to serve, and it's really advisors and their clients.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what are we looking at right now? Is this sort of like a dashboard where you can have several bank accounts set up? This is
Exactly. Yeah. So we're in the small business view, and these are separate bank accounts that you can name whatever you want to name them. And some people have one account, some people have like 16. You can have up to 20 checking accounts with no account fees, no minimum balance. So a lot of people like it for segregation of funds. They can have an
Mhm.
account for payroll, they can have an account for taxes, however they're setting up their business. Um, yeah.
I like that. So up to 20 is pretty impressive, right? And if you're getting that good, clean data from the bank feed and using the source documents with it, it's going to create that real-time data that clients are always looking for. And usually that culprit in the mix, that little devil in the details, has been that bank feed. So I'm really excited to get started with this with my latest client.
It's like you'll be really happy.
Yeah.
You'll be very happy. And then you can download statements really easily. You can just like download them. You can actually even email them. And you can leverage your HubDoc or Receipt Bank email intake address to automatically forward statements into those solutions.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? I did see the statement feature when I was looking at it for the client. So talk to me a little bit about the CSV, because that one has me interested a little bit. So if we
Yeah.
were doing like a client cleanup file or something, right? We could take that and export it into perhaps our accounting system and clean up their work.
100%. Yep.
Nice. I like that a lot. So you've really thought holistically from the accounting professional's point of view, or what are some of the tools we need while keeping it simple for the business owner? I like that.
Exactly. Uh, cool. And then you can pull funds across really easy. So we connect to 100% of US banks. You can pull funds in one business day, basically. So it's really quick, really snappy. And we make this available for accounts and bookkeepers and their clients because it's just a high trust relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you might see other providers do is they're less willing to take on kind of the ACH risk, which is what it is. And why you might see processing times that are 3 business days or 5 business days.
Mm-hmm.
But because we are so dedicated to the channel, we make it really quick and really snappy.
Nice.
And of course, you can just send funds in from your external bank, which is I think what your client did as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. Now, can funds also be trickled in? Like if we were to think about a different type of merchant accounts or anything like that, couldn't like how talk to us a little bit more about how we can get ways for funds to get into Relay.
Yeah, so there's the, the method here
Adding.
where you link up an account and would pull the funds on your behalf.
Mhm.
You could go to your, say, Bank of America account and add your Relay account number and routing number, right? And then just send the funds across. You can do that by wire, ACH, carrier pigeon, obviously not, but you get the idea. You can deposit checks using our mobile app. And the daily deposit limit is $40,000 a day.
Okay.
So it's like pretty high. Most banks do like 5 to 10,000 max per month, let alone per day.
Mhm.
And then in terms of like merchant accounts, yeah, you just link up your Relay account to your Shopify, to your whatever you're
That's
using.
where I didn't want to lead you in, but that's what I was
Yeah,
looking for.
right. It's so easy. It's so easy.
Okay.
You also connect into like the Plaid Direct network, so
Mhm.
you can look up Relay just like Wells Fargo, and
Mhm.
just put in your login credentials, select the account you want to link to your, I don't know, your like WagePoint or your Gusto or whatever it is,
Mhm.
and it's really easy.
Oh, wow. So that's the holistic approach that we're really looking forward to. In fact, I was speaking with another client. Now, this one was Canadian, so I told them they had to be patient, but just being able to have the read-only access was huge for them, as well as we're dealing with multiple e-commerce solutions for this one venture capitalist organization. Being able to bring all of that into a single place of truth, right? Like having, and when we see that we can have up to 20 accounts, well, it's like, okay, well, then that e-commerce revenue stream can go into this account, this account, this account, this account. And I really like that idea. So I'm going to be totally giddy when you guys get your Canadian digs going.
Um, cool. And then you can issue MasterCard debit cards, and they can be physical cards, they can be virtual cards. You can set up limits. You can nickname them. So you can have a card for, I think we work with Jeffrey Guilano, if you remember Jeff. And
I
so he has
do.
obviously issued himself a test card here that he's nicknamed it. And so you can even have a card for marketing expenses, right? And that nickname will actually come through on the bank feed. And so if you're looking for a better way to do attribution of spending or categorization,
Oh,
you
that's
say, oh, this
brilliant.
is an expense for like the marketing team, you have this nickname that you can rely on.
You know where I can see that being really handy right now is delivery trucks. So if you have a fleet of drivers and they each have their own card and you want to make sure it's allocated to a specific vehicle, or that it isn't included in like the management vehicle that's being used, right? So being able to put it as a cost of goods sold as opposed to a management fuel charge, that is a great way to be able to nickname the cards. I like that. Tell us a little bit more about cards and what that activation is like.
Yeah, so you can issue cards as a physical card, which will mail out to you. And then you just put in the last 4 digits on the card inside of Relay. You set a PIN. Really easy. You don't have to talk to anyone, which is kind of nice.
Isn't it
Uh,
nice? Okay. And it's like a real card, right?
Real card.
It's a credit card. It's
Yeah.
use it the same way you would expect to use it like you were with any other card. I
Yeah,
love that.
you can add it to your Apple Wallet, your Google Pay. It's really easy. It's really nice.
Nice. What I like about this holistic approach is traditionally myself, when I finally spend 8 hours at a bank to get that access card, and I'm not looking for, I am looking for another virtual hug. Somebody give me a virtual hug on this because I'm emotionally scarred from wasting 8 hours of my life in two banks. But after finally getting the plastic card with the banks linked to it, guess what was not linked? The credit cards. So I think having that holistic approach to be able to give somebody read-only access on I would presume on a global level. I presume like as a bookkeeper, I would be able to have access to the cards, not to spend, but to see the transaction history. Am I,
Mhm.
I'm presuming so, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So like this is this is a pain point, or at least for us here in Canada, that's a huge pain point for us to be able to get an access card that has that holistic financial story together.
100%. Um, And not only can you have it as a physical card, you can also issue like virtual cards, which work basically exactly the same. You just don't get a piece of plastic.
Most of
Yeah,
it's online nowadays, isn't it? Right? Most shopping.
exactly. Right. Um,
Oh,
so
wow. I
pretty
really like
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then once you set it up, oh, that's actually a virtual card. Let me just find a physical card. And so you can change the nickname, you can change the limits,
Ooh,
you
I
can
like
freeze
that
the
idea.
yeah, you can change the pin. It's all really easy.
Or freeze it.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. So you actually have real-time access to who has access to your corporate funds, right? I
Bingo.
think that that's a great idea. I even like that little button there, allow foreign transactions. I really like that. You've really thought of all the other little quirks that, a business owner worries about. Now, you showed me statements on the Canadian or on the, sorry, pardon me. You can tell I want you in Canada. Sorry. On the bank side, you showed me statements. Is there
Yeah.
something kind of similar where we can get some sort of statement or at least data on the card side? How does
So
that work?
yeah, so since they're debit cards, they are linked to a bank account.
Gotcha. Makes
And then
sense.
each bank account comes through on the bank feed and has the statement. The nice
Perfect.
thing is that as those bank feed transactions come through, you can see which card was used.
Nice.
Actually, like when you hook up this, I know this client, I don't know what the entire purpose of the client on Relay is, but if they start using the card, you'll start to see those transactions come through. And I promise you, you'll be very happy. Uh,
Nice. I'm really excited. Never thought
um,
I'd say this. I'm really excited for my client to start spending money just so I can see how the bank feeds work with Relay into
yeah,
Xero.
Xero has told us that we have the best bank feed they have. Like it is that good and thoughtful.
I'm going to
Uh,
hold them to that. I'm going to test it. You know me. I'm going to tell you. Awesome.
nice.
Okay, tell me a bit more.
Yeah, and so the other really cool thing is Relay. Like we fundamentally believe that bills should be paid from the bank. It's just that most banks suck at online bill pay, right?
Tell me how it
Um,
really is, Yusuf.
sorry, am I not holding? Am I holding
You're
back too
holding
much?
back a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it might be, yeah, anyways. Okay, so what we've done is we built an integration into the accounting system, whether that's Xero or QuickBooks Online, where we automatically pull in unpaid bills.
Nice.
Um, so we centralize them all.
Okay.
And then you have approval workflows, and there's like multi-stage approval workflows uh, to actually approve the bills and then pay them.
I love
Um,
it.
so what it looks like is you have this bill here from custom headwear boxes for $1,500. You can see all the bill details. I can actually go ahead and view the bill in Xero if I want to, like just see the transaction and anything else that's there. But I also have the supporting documentation here.
Nice. Oh, wow. Complete transparency. So would this also populate? Okay, you said multi approver levels.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking in my mind, like as an accounting professional, what we get asked to do is to set up payables. Now, we don't want to actually spend the money. We don't want to do that, but we would like to set up the payments for the customer for them to approve. Could that be a potential workflow with Relay?
100%. So let's say I'm the bookkeeper. Well, I am the bookkeeper in this case. I'm Sean
Hmm.
McGuire of
Hmm.
Zero Bookkeeping, and I actually don't have approval to pay this bill. Right? There's an approval
Okay.
rule that applies, and so this green button says submit for approval instead of like initiate payment. And so I submit it for approval, and then here's what it looks like on my end. So I actually see that I'm awaiting approval. I can't pay it until Henry here actually approves this bill. And if Henry's taking his time, I can send a reminder
Nice.
and get him going. Uh, and then once the bill is actually approved, there we go. This is what it looks like. So I can see that that the bill is now unpaid, and then I can go ahead and initiate the payment. So there would be steps in the middle where Henry would have approved the bill, and then I can go ahead and initiate the payment based on the cash flow for the client.
Nice. Nice. I love that. How does that work from a notification standpoint? So us as accounting professionals, like I don't know about you, but I'm like NASA right now. I got like three screens, right? But
Mhm.
my clients, they're looking at this. Right? Like, how does that notification process take place where it's like, Jenny wants to spend $30,000. Not a big surprise for some of my clients. Will you have a look at this? Do you approve it? But they may not be at NASA control here. They may be looking at here. What does that kind of look like to them?
Yeah, so they'll receive an email just saying, hey, Jenny would like to pay this bill. And then they can approve it. Yes, they can approve it on the desktop. They can also approve it on their iPhone or Android device
Nice.
using our mobile apps.
Oh, you do have a mobile app.
Yeah, we
Nice.
do.
Go figure. I love it because as my business owners, like they're already submitting their documents using HubDoc mobile app. For them, it's like they want that continuous workflow, like whether it's QuickBooks Online or Xero, they're looking at it on their mobile device. Obviously, it's limited. They want to do everything from here, right? Some of my Zoom calls are even from these devices, right? So I think it's really important that we make money portable in a way that makes the information available to be approved easily. So I love that you have an app. I'm going to be downloading it right away. I think it's super cool, and that you've really thought holistically about that end user.
Yeah. And the other cool thing is, I think everyone wants to see digital payments, but sometimes it's hard, right? You might not have someone's banking details.
Mhm.
And so, what we make easy here is I could actually request payment information from this vendor.
No.
Yeah.
Really? How?
Hmm.
Okay, walk me through this because this is exciting. So I don't, and that's a common thing with our payables process. Guess what we're spending a lot more of our time doing? Contacting the vendor and getting a void check, right?
Of
Which is
course.
kind of silly
Yeah.
because we're trying to go paperless and we're asking for a void check. Hilarious. Okay, so tell me what this would be like. So I'm
Yeah.
taking that conversation out.
Perfect. So we have web design agency who's our vendor that we want to pay. So instead of calling them up and trying to get a void check and going through that process, all you're doing is you're saying, okay, we're starting an ACH payment, like an electronic transfer equivalent in the US
Mhm.
for a web design agency. And our system will see, oh, we actually don't have payment details for a web design agency. So if we did have those available to us, we could enter them.
Okay.
But in this case, we don't. So we're just going to check this box that says request payment
Oh, it
information.
changed. Okay.
Yeah, right. So you can see it goes from
Mhm.
kind of you providing information to not. And so I can
Mhm.
say, okay, here's the phone number of theirs, and we already have their email address here.
Mhm.
And then we send a note. Hey, Jane, need bank details
Mhm. No worries.
to yeah, to pay invoice 19, whatever it is. And then we can actually require a W-9
Nice.
to be uploaded as part of that if that's required. And then we'll say the reason for payment, invoice 19, and we choose the account where we want the funds to come from. And then once we confirm this payment, we
Mhm.
send out an email to Jane at Web Design Agency saying, hey, Henry's Hat Hut here wants to pay you $2,250. Please add your payment details here.
You just solved a huge problem for me. This exact client that we just put on for the payroll component, the other side of it is their agency side where they have subcontractors where we need to do
Mhm.
mass payments, but we don't have their banking information all the time. Maybe a new
Yeah.
subcontractor, a new photographer being used. That is massive. And what it's nice is you're putting the liability on the person to ensure they're putting their banking information in correctly as opposed to someone else, right? So that is incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just taking a moment here. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. Okay,
Nice.
wow, that is pretty cool. How does okay, so another if I'm not going to ask you, someone else will from our
Yeah.
industry. So that's great. In my perfect workflow, what happens is again, I'm a big fan of HubDoc. So the invoice gets captured through HubDoc, it's posted into Xero, let's say. You're pulling that across into Relay, you're paying it, but how does that get recorded back into Xero as being paid? Or what kind of happens there? What does that kind of workflow
Oh my God.
look
It's
like?
it's so it's so good. That's what I'll tell you. I can't stress this enough. So one of the things, like the benefits of your bank paying your bills,
Mhm.
is not only like best in class payment times, right? We
Mhm.
can do like next day payments or same day payments. It's not a
Wow.
3 to 5 business day window. Um, but also on the back office side, you don't have the notion of like a clearing account in Relay's case.
I'm smiling.
So the way it works is, let's just find
I
that
love
bill that we
that.
want to
One
pay.
less account to reconcile accounting professionals. And for your small business
Yeah.
owners out there that don't understand that, it's just more work for us, which means a higher rate. Okay, so this is good.
So all you do is, let's say we initiate a payment here, and we pay web design agency, right? So Jane receives that email, fills in her details, and the payment goes out for $2,250. The
Mhm.
status on this bill goes from unpaid to payment in progress. And
Okay,
then we go into Xero and we mark the bill as paid. And then once the ACH is settled on the Relay side, we send across a bank fee transaction that just matches up against that paid bill. And
got
all
it.
you have to do to reconcile is just click OK and you're done.
I love it. What is a big win for me is the mobile app. That's huge. Ability to use credit cards, that's massive. And having that holistic viewpoint on all the financial instruments. Being able to invite your accounting professional as a collaborator or read-only access, delegate card, whatever you want to call it, but giving them the access to the data, that's huge. The workflow being able to sync back into your main financial management system, whether it's QBO or Xero, that's awesome. That is really holistic thinking there.
And that's basically Relay.
I love it. No more demo required. Sold. I love it. No, seriously, like that idea of being able to send, the ACH requests to business owners to get paid, I think is massive. And I saw a couple other cute things there, like check and stuff like that as well. And I think that that's neat to always have options. I myself would love to be able to do that. And what's great is that you'd be eliminating another app that would be required, right? Like you're streamlining the financial data into one holistic approach as opposed to leveraging more than one app, right? A banking app, a payment app, all this stuff. You're bringing that workflow together, which makes it super amazing for us as accounting professionals. Because I get app overload. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do. I get fatigued, and then I have to eat a cupcake, and you know my blood sugar goes up, and then I get a little bit more energy, and then I'm at it again. But yeah. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. So, what are next steps? What should people do to check out how to solve their banking mayhem with Relay
Yeah,
Financial? How can they
perfect.
make their lives easier right now?
Perfect. Go to relayfi.com, hit the accountants and bookkeepers link right at the top, and you go ahead and register for our partner program, which is pretty sweet. Or send me an
Perfect.
email. If you have any questions, Yusef, YOSEPH at relayfi.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being our guest. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to do more of these chats. But yes, everyone, check out the playbook first of all, because that's going to help you in 2021. Let's say goodbye to 2020, and let's get our stuff together for 2021. And hopefully, you're going to make Relay Financial part of your fintech family too. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Jenny. Bye.